Hi friends, welcome to another studio time. This week we're going to have fun creating a tiny counting book. You may decide to make a count to 3 book, a count to 6 book, or even a count to 10 book, just like I've created here. I cannot wait to share with you how I created this tiny counting book. Now there are many materials you'll need to gather in order to create your counting book. If you'd like to create a count to 3 book, you'll need to get 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. If you'd like to make a count to 6 book, you'll need 2 sheets of paper, and for a count to 10 book, you'll need to gather 3 sheets of paper. Now, if you need a reminder for how to make a tiny book, you can visit another video that I created. The link is below in the description. Now, there are more materials you'll need to gather in order to make your tiny counting book. You'll need a sharpened pencil, a pair of scissors, and even a fine tip marker. Please also gather many different kinds of coloring tools. You can decide which kind you'd like to use. You'll also need some glue. I prefer to use a glue stick, but if you do not have a glue stick, then you can get a bottle of glue, or you can even get double-sided tape. It's sticky on both sides. Make sure that you bring your imagination and creativity, because we are going to have a lot of fun learning and creating a counting book together. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, now you've made your tiny book out of 1 sheet of paper. You've gathered your tools. You have your fine tip marker and different coloring tools. Now we're ready to begin creating our count to 3 book. So we have our front and back cover. We have space for 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to begin by writing the title on my book. You can think about what you'd like to call yours. I'm going to call mine Ms. Canyon's Counting Book. I'm just writing those words right here on the front cover. And I'm going to come back later and put my illustrations on. So right now what I'd like you to do is open up to the first page, and up in the left-hand corner, I'd like you to write the first number, and that is number 1. That's correct. All right, so we're going to write number 1, and let's turn the page, and now we're going to write number 2. That's right. So very carefully write number 2, and then let's turn the page, and we're going to write number 3. That's right. All right, take your time and write number 3. Okay, now we're going to go back to page 1, and we're thinking about what we want our counting book to be about. Could be a counting book about things in nature, or a counting book, maybe some of your favorite things. That's what I think I'm going to create my counting book about, some of my favorite things. All right, so for the first one, for number 1, we're going to make a drawing of one thing. And since I'm making my counting book about my favorite things, I'm drawing one of my favorite things. Let's see if you can guess what it is. Keep watching. All right, this is how it's starting, with a big circle. Now it's going to change. I'm adding some other details. Do you have an idea of what it is yet? Do you see it? It's coming together. Here we go. I'm going to keep going around. Have you guessed it? I'm making a great big sunshine. One sunshine. Now later I'm going to come back and add some of the colorful details to my sunshine. So I have one sunshine, one of my favorite things. All right, now we're going to turn to page number 2. Something else that I just love are butterflies. So I'm going to draw 2 butterflies. All right, and I'm going to take my time. decided to make one big butterfly and one little butterfly. So now I have 1, 2 butterflies. Now we're going to turn to page number 3. All right, I've been thinking about it. Something else that I really, really like. Flowers. I love flowers. So I'm going to create 3 flowers. Here I go. I'm so excited. I drew all of the pictures for my Count to 3 book. And now I'm ready to add the colorful details. I'm going to go ahead and begin. Wow, that was fun. I just completed the 3 pictures for my Count to 3 book. I have 1 sunshine, 2 butterflies, and 3 flowers. I just need to add the front and back cover to make this a Count to 3 book. But you know, I was thinking I may want to count even higher than 3. I don't have any more pages. You may be thinking the same thing. Guess what? I have an idea for you. If you come on back, I'll share with you how we can actually make a Count to 6 book as well. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Now I'd like to share with you how to create a Count to 6 book. You'll need to first make 2 tiny books. Remember, each one out of 1 piece of paper. After you've made them, please put them down on the table. I want to point out a few things. On the left-hand side, this is where the fold is. That's the spine of the book. You'll want to make sure both of the books are facing the same way. On the right side, that's where the pages open. So you want to make sure both of them are the same. Now we need to put them together. I'm going to use a glue stick. If you do not have a glue stick, maybe you have some double-sided tape that's sticky on both sides, or just some regular white glue. I'm going to show you how we're going to do it with a glue stick. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach the back of one book to the front of the other book. So very carefully, I'm going to put my glue down all over this cover. You might want to put a piece of paper towel or something underneath so the glue doesn't get on the table. So very carefully, I'm going to go ahead and cover this whole front side. Now you do want to be careful and make sure that you do not get glue on the edges here. because you might accidentally glue your book closed. All right, put my cap back on so the glue doesn't dry out. Very carefully, I'm going to lift up the other book and go to the last page. And very carefully, I'm going to line them up. Now, if you need help with a grown-up, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and be a team. Have some teamwork. All right, so I'm going to line up my edges. The glue is still a little bit wet, so you can slide it around a little. And then I very carefully press it down so they stick together. Once I've done this side, I'm going to go ahead and turn this page and press it again so that they stick together. All right, let's see if it worked. Remember, we had 2 tiny books, and now we're hoping to have 1 tiny book that we can count to 6. All right, let's see. I'm going to lift it up. Here we go. Let's check it out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It worked! Now, before I actually create the pages inside this book, I thought I would show you how I'm going to turn this count to 3 book into a count to 6 book. That way I don't have to start all over again. So what I need is 1 more tiny book created out of 1 sheet of paper. All right, do you remember what we need to do to put them together? That's right, we need to get the glue. And remember, I'm using a glue stick. So I'll go ahead and very carefully cover this whole front side here. I made sure that that fold was on the left-hand side. I'm going to cover the whole thing very carefully. There we go. Put my glue cap back on so the glue doesn't dry out. And then very carefully, I'm going to take this page, back of this book, and line it up. There we go. And press it down. There we go. Of course, when you make yours, you can put your book together before you create your pictures. All right, I'm going very carefully. All right, let's check it out. Here we go. I'm going to open it up. So I've got 1, 2, 3. And what do I need to add next? 4. That's right. Let's go ahead and write it down. So right in here, we're going to write number 4. That's right. And we're going to turn the page and we need to put number 5. So very carefully, I'm going to write number 5. And then the next page will be, that's right, number 6. We've now got our 6 pages for our Count to 6 book. I think I would like to begin by creating the illustration for page number 4. Do you remember that my book is about some of my favorite things? One of my favorite things are trees. I love trees. So I'm going to create 4 trees. And you know what? I'm going to put each tree on its own hill. So how many hills will I need? That's right, 4. So I'm going to start right down here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now how many trees am I going to draw? That's right, 4 trees. I'm going to start with the one in the middle. It's going to be a big tree. Finished drawing my 4 trees. of my next favorite thing. And how many will I need to draw? That's right, 5. And when I'm all done with this page, I need to go on to the next page, and then I'll need to draw 6 of those things. That's right. I'm going to take my time, and I'll share them with you when I'm all done. Take your time with your counting book as well. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Wow, I just finished 3 more drawings for my Count to 6 book. I created 4 trees, 5 triangles, each with a different pattern inside, and 6 different kinds of lines. You can see I've not added my colorful details yet. I'm going to come back and do that later. But I did want to point out something. I noticed as I was working on my Count to 6 book that the pages started to unfold. Maybe that's happening to yours as well. And that's okay. It's not coming apart. It just needs a little help. Maybe you already have an idea of what you can use. That's right, your glue. I'm going to use the glue stick. Now you don't need a lot of glue to fix it and to help it out. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue under here where those pages are coming open, and then very carefully press them down. Very carefully. Give it a little help. You can even go through your whole book and see if there's any other pages that are coming open. Ooh, I see a little bit there. So you just add a little bit of glue very carefully. And it'll help you close them. So you can do that throughout the whole book. You notice here on this page, there's one that's happening too. So just be careful not to rip your pages when you lift them up. Just add a little bit of glue and press down. And you can do that through your whole Count to 6 book. So let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm pretty happy with the Count to 6 book. But I think I might also be interested in creating a Count to 10 book. Maybe you'd be interested in doing that as well. Please come back and I'm going to share with you how you can create a Count to 10 tiny book. Sounds pretty cool, don't you think? See you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Now I'd like to share with you how to make a tiny Count to 10 book. In order to make it, you're going to need 3 pieces of paper. And with each piece of paper, once again, you're going to make a tiny book. So you need 1, 2, 3 tiny books. And we're going to put them together to make one Count to 10 book. Do you remember the special material we need? That's right, some glue. I'm going to use a glue stick. So very carefully, I'm first going to look and make sure I've got them all the same way. So on the left side, that's where the paper is folded. Oh, I'm checking all of them. It's all the same. So that's going to be the spine of the book. And on the right side, that's where the pages open. So I'm just double checking. There we go. They're all the same. All right, now I'm ready to start gluing. So I'll start with this one over here on the right side. So remember, we're going to fill up the whole space, being careful not to glue your pages shut. I'm using my helper hand very carefully. And then I'll take the first book here and I'm going to very carefully line it up. Remember, if you do need help, you may ask a grown-up for help. It could be a team. Line those up and rub them down carefully. Take your time. Now I'm going to turn this page. There we go. And once again, rub this down so they're sticking together. All right. Do you remember before with the Count to 6 book, our pages were coming open. They were unfolding. So you can right away, as you're making your book, you can start to add that glue so they do not open. carefully. All right, remember we have one more book we're going to attach. We need to put the glue on the top of this side. Here we go, very carefully. I'm going to cover it up. Here we go. I'll put my cap on. Open this one up to the last page. There we go. And very carefully line up those edges. All right, and rub them down. Rub, 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 rub. All right, let's turn this page. We're gonna rub the other side. I noticed it's unfolding again. So we'll open up the glue. And we're just going to glue this shut a little bit so those pages don't unfold. And rub it down again. Okay, I'll give it one final little rub here. Make sure all those pages are stuck together for our Count to 10 book. Now, I've decided I would like to turn my Count to 6 book into a Count to 10 book. So instead of starting from the beginning, I'm going to start from 6. But you see, I have no more pages here. So what do I need to glue on? That's right! I need to first make another tiny book out of one piece of paper. And then I'm going to glue it to my Count to 6 book. All right, so very carefully, I'm first looking. I see the folded edge is here on the left side for both of them. The open pages are on the right side. Let's check this one. They're both the same. So now it's time to add the glue. All right, so I'm going to put my glue stick right here. Cover up the whole surface very carefully. There we go. Now remember, if you want to make a Count to 10 book, you can decide that right at the very beginning and put all 3 tiny books together. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing here, making your pictures to count to 6 and then gluing the other one on. All right, so very carefully, I'm going to line up the edges and rub them down, taking my time. And then I'm going to turn this page. There we go. And rub the other side. I want those pages to stick together. All right, let's check this out. We're ready to label the rest of the pages. So we left off at number 6. That's right. Need to get my marker. All right, now our next number will be, that's right, 7. So very carefully, we're gonna write number 7 and turn the page. What's our next number? 8. That's right. So very carefully, I'm going to write number 8. And our next number is 9. That's right. All right, here we go. 9. And what's our next number? Number 10. But do we have any more pages? We don't. I have a surprise for you. I have a pretty neat place that I'd like you to put number 10. I'd like you to take your book and lay it down on the table so you see the front and back cover. And up in the left-hand corner, that's it. You're right. You're gonna write number 10. And then you'll be able to create 10 of one of the things you want to make. For me, it's gonna be 10 of one of my favorite things. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on page number 7. Let me turn my page. I'm going to think a moment. Remember, my book is about some of my favorite things. And for this page, I need to make 7 of those things. Let me think. I've decided what I'm going to make, but I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to have you watch. See if you can guess what it is. I'm going to start off, I believe, with some circles. And how many do I need to make? That's right, I need to make 7. I think I'm going to make them all different sizes. sizes. So far I have 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. Oh, let's get a bigger one. 4, 5, 6, and one more right here. 7. Now I do like circles. I really like them a lot. But there's something else I really like as well. Are you ready? Watch what I'm turning it into. A balloon! That's right! So I'm going to have 7 balloons floating on this page. I thought that's sort of fun. All right. Here we go. 7 balloons. That makes me very happy. Now I need to think about what I want to put on page 8 and page 9. This might take a while. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll share with you my drawings when I'm all done. I'll see you in a little while. Just finished my 9 snowflakes. Let me share with you all of the pictures I just worked on. You may remember I made 7 balloons. I love making patterns. I made 8 squares with circles going around them. I love this pattern. And my 9 snowflakes. But of course, this is the Count to 10 book. Do you remember where number 10 is? That's right, on the back cover. So between the front and back cover, this is where we're going to draw 10 things. And for me, as I shared, I'm drawing some of my favorite things. And one of the things I truly love are spirals. I love happy spirals. So I'm going to draw 10 of them across the front and back cover of my counting book. I'm so excited! I just finished all of the drawings for my Count to 10 book. Of course, I still have many colorful details to add, and that's going to be fun to do. But I'd like to share with you all of the pages that I made for this book. I have 1 sunshine, 2 butterflies, 3 flowers, 4 trees, 5 triangles with different patterns inside, 6 different kinds of lines, 7 balloons, different sizes. I made a pattern with 8 squares and tiny circles going around, 9 snowflakes, and 10 spirals. For my wraparound cover, of my tiny counting book. Now I'm going to have fun adding my colorful details. I wonder where I'll begin. Have fun creating and coloring your wonderful counting book. And of course, happy counting, everybody. Toodaloo.